All right. Still not going live on. All right. All right. All right. So we're live. All right. So, hi, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page. And today we're going live and we're talking about figuring out how much it costs to start and run an ATM business. We're going to explore the ways to pay your ATM business, like loans and find investors. And we're going to talk about running your ATM business in a day-to-day. So, my name is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page, and we go live every other Monday at 6 Central Standard Time. We usually talk about 15 minutes. If there's questions, please post them in the chats. If you find this valuable information, please post that in the chat. That's always good. I like to see some feedback. If there's questions that you have about the ATM business in general, you can always post those in the chat. If we have time, we'll get to them. We usually always have time and try to make time for questions and comments from the ATM business. All right. So, all right. So we're going to jump right into it. Just to let you guys know, we also at PDQ Merchant Enterprises, we sell ATM, we process transactions. So if you're ever looking to buy an ATM or somebody to process your transactions, we do that. We also sell parts. We answer if you have questions or you got service, you need some help with service. We also offer service. We sell wireless devices. So if you need a wireless device for your ATM, we also sell that. So full service ATM distributor. And we also have a course that teaches you from A to Z how to be successful in the ATM business. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. So, all right. So again, today's video is figuring out how much it costs to start and run your ATM business, explore ways to pay for your business, like loans and finding investors, and then running your ATM business day to day. All right. So first thing, how much does it cost to start and run your ATM business? So I would like to, I always like to put in somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000 to start and run your ATM business. All right. The first thing you will need to do is you're going to need to set up a corporation. Depending on what state that is in, that's going to run you anywhere from a couple $100 up to $1,000, depending on the state you're in and whether or not you're going to do the work yourself or you're going to get a lawyer or an accountant to help you with setting up a corporation. Here in the state of Illinois, it's $150 to get a set up a corporation. And then usually the federal government is anywhere from, and I haven't done it in a while, I want to say it's like $250 to $350. Those are just bare minimum costs. And then again, if you're going to get help from somebody, then they're going to tack on their rate. Usually lawyers are more than accountants, but it just depends. Or you can do it yourself, or you can use a local service to help you with that. So once you get your corporation set up, then the next thing you do is you're going to need to set up your bank accounts. That'll just depend on, is the bank charging you to set up an account? Are they charging you a monthly fee? Then once you have that, then you got to purchase. You're going to need to either going to buy a course, or you're going to have somebody help you through the process, or are you going to do it on your own? A course could run. I mean, our course is $497, but it could go as much as I've seen courses up to 10 grand. So it just depends on what you are looking to do and how much people are going to help you with the process. All right. Then you're going to need an ATM. So right now, the ATMs that are out there, let's say there's 4 manufacturers: Gen Mega, Natasjosung, Paloon, and Triton. Those ATMs are going to run you anywhere from probably about let's call it $2,500 on up, depending on manufacturer type. There are entry-level ATMs for, let's say, around $2,500. Sometimes you get it cheaper. It just depends on Is there any specials? Are the manufacturers, are they discounting the price? Sometimes they run specials throughout the year. Sometimes they don't. Can you buy in multiple quantities? Will that help? Depending on where it is throughout the country, that also could lay into minimizing the cost. This is also brand new ATMs. If you buy a used ATM, the price will be a lot less. But then again, you don't know necessarily what you're buying. Is your ATM upgradable? Is it upgraded? Will it work as the market changes? That'll be a question that you can either take your chances on that. Right now, we are going through EMV, not EMV, but we are going through updates for keypads for PCI compliance. And is your ATM going to be in PCI compliance come January 1st of 2025? So those are things that you need to know. All right. So you're gonna have your cost of your ATM. Let's just ballpark it at $3,000. That'll include programming, shipping, installation, everything and anything. And then you'll have your cost of the ATM, or how much money you're going to put in. So it'll depend on how often you want to go to the ATM and how much money you want to start out. So anywhere from, it could be my rule of thumb is I would always advise you guys to put in $3,000. So if you're at $3,000 for the ATM, $3,000 for the to put in your vault cash, what we call vault cash money. That's the money you actually put into the ATM. That's going to run you. You're going to get that money back. It's just you're going to need that money to put in the ATM. And then as the money, people take the money out, you're going to get the money back. So you'll need to have that number. Sometimes people put in $1,000, sometimes put $500 in, sometimes they put more than $3,000. My rule of thumb is always do $3,000. So you're looking at $3,000 for the ATM, $3,000 for to put in your ATM, and then if you have any coaching or any add-ons with setting up a corporation. So there's your number, somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000, depending. Can you do a little cheaper? You might be able to do a little cheaper if you're buying used product, but for the most part, that's the number that you want to put in your head, is about $6,000 to $8,000 to start to get your first ATM and start your ATM business. All right. So what is it going to cost to run your ATM business? Well, that'll depend on how much, how far the ATM. Right now, all you're really talking about is gas to go from your business to wherever the ATM is. So you're looking at that. One of the things we're looking at minimizing some of your expenses for your life expenses. So what we want to do is we want to be able to write some of these expenses off. Maybe we want to write off our gas expenses. We want to write off our insurance expenses. Maybe eventually a car payment. Any new cell phones. If you're going to rent an office, those will be a write-off. So you want to minimize your regular expenses, car insurance. That's what the nice thing about advantages of setting up a corporation. You can start to deduct some of those expenses that you have, that you're incurring from your ATM business. That is the nice thing about having a corporation. So that's what we want to do. Now, one of the ways we want to, okay, so next thing is, well, how do we want to pay for your ATM business? Well, some of the ways you pay for your ATM business is we do one of three things. We get a loan. Now, the banks are not lending money usually on new business. They will, you can borrow money if you have an asset. Let's say you have a car, they'll lend, you can leverage your car. If you have a home, you can get a homeowner's, like a HELOC line of credit, or you can ask for a line of credit on your home. Or most people, maybe they're not there at that stage of the game, but they do have credit cards. So you can buy your ATM on a credit card, then you can pay for that monthly, and then you can minimize. So all you're really talking about is maybe somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000 to get into the ATM game, because what you did is you put that on the ATM around your credit card, and then you're paying for that monthly. You can also go with friends and family. That is always a good thing. Hey, I need or $5,000 from your friends and family, and then I'll pay you back every month. You can pay them back out of the profits of the ATM, and then therefore you can put a little in your pocket, get them paid back, and now you're running your ATM business. So that is usually how it's done. Once you're in the game for 2 years, here at PDQ, we have banks that we work with that can get some additional financing to grow your ATM business. But the first 2 years, the banks that we work with, they don't want to talk to. They want to see that you're been in business and you can keep your head above water. And then after that, they're willing to loan if you need to buy new product. They're not willing to loan on what we call vault cash. That's the money in the ATM. That'll have to come from you. But there is ways that you can get that, again, friends and family. All right, so we're going to take a couple. We're just going to look at see blah, 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 blah. Do we have anything? Don't banks lend money for risky businesses? And depending on the bank, consider ATM business risky. Yes, the ATM business is risky, according to them, but we do have banks that will lend to you if you've been in business for 2 or more years. What they'll do is they will finance the ATMs. They will finance the ATMs. They won't finance the vault cash, but they'll finance the ATM. So we do work with businesses that will do that if you've been in the business for 2 or more years. So just to let you know. All right. So what else do we got? And then running your business day to day. What does that look like? All right. So what does a typical ATM operator will look like? This is you're going to look at your ATMs every day to see, hey, how much cash is in the ATM. A lot of ATM operators will come up with a route. Let's say you got 10 ATMs. They're going to come up with a route. Usually they're going to fill up. They're going to try to minimize the amount of time they go out and the amount of cash they got to put out. So what they'll do is they'll look at their route. Let's just give an example. They have 10 ATMs. They're going to figure out, depending on where they're at, they will say, okay, I got in this city, I got 3 ATMs, and maybe the next city, I got 2. I'm going to try to circle all those 5 ATMs into one day during the week. And then the other ATMs, I'm going to circle in that into another day of the week. So you're going to go out 2 days, one day this week, 1 day next week, and you're going to fill your ATMs to the level. Now, if you're running tight on funds, you might have to go out every week and do those 10. If you got a little bit more funds, then you can put them on an every 2-week schedule. Now, sometimes you got an ATM that'll go through, let's say, 15, 20 grand in a week. You might have a phenomenal location, and they're going to go through that, or you got a dispensary, or you got a truck stop, you got a bar with gaming. Those ATMs are going to do more. Then you'll probably have to put that on a week to week schedule. It might, depending on your funds, you might also have to put it on a maybe a little tighter schedule where you go there twice a week, just depending on how much money that you have to work with. So that way it'll always be full. We encourage our customers and business partners such as yourself, put on cash thresholds. So when it hits this, you get a text message and or an email to let you know, hey, my ATM is running low. And you also want to look at, last thing you want to do is, or at least we try not to do this, is we want to look at the weekend, what's coming up on a weekend. Is it a big holiday? Is it a 3-day holiday? Labor Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, St. Patrick's Day this year is on a Sunday. It's a big holiday for the bar industry. In Thanksgiving time, Black Wednesday, big bar holiday. New Year's Eve is not such a big bar holiday as it used to be. Those are the things, and we want to put extra money, especially the first of the month. If you have first of the month is always a lot of people are on, they have government assistance, whether it's Social Security or other pro-government programs. They get those funds first of the month, sometimes first and the 15th. And so those are always big time days. So you want to make sure that your ATMs are full during that time. So what we do is we look at, hey, we have what they call cash forecasting. So once you're in the game for a little while, it'll tell you how many days. We have a program that tells you how many days and to your cash load. Now, that's not the Bible. That is just a rule of thumb. Hey, on a normal situation, looks like you're out about 6 days before the ATM runs out of money. But again, if they get a cash if you get cash run on the ATM, it will not necessarily be the truth. So what you want to do is you want to look at the old history, and you'll have that once you're in the game for a while. You have old history. Hey, I know I'm going through $5,000 a week. We're coming towards that first of the month. Maybe I want to bump it up to 6,000 so I don't have a run on the weekend. And my advice to you guys is always, once you start out in the game, try to fill an ATM on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. That way you have ample amount of time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're not going out on the weekends. A lot of times people said, well, I try to fill it on Monday, Tuesday. But here's the problem is and you're going every 2 weeks, it's going to be lower on the weekend. And the weekend is not a time you want to go out, or maybe that is the only time you have. For me, we're working all the time. So I'm trying to minimize my time on Sunday. That's family day for me. I don't want to be out. But the ATM business is my full-time business. When it's not your full-time business, maybe Saturday and Sunday is the only days, and those are the days you're going to fill. So, all right, let me see. Do we have any questions? Let's see. Let's see. Where can I find a list of banks that you're talking about? So, banks that lend on the business. Just shoot me an email, and I will set you up with a bank that we use to lend on the ATM business. So just put it in a chat, and I'll send you over the guy. So it's just one bank that we use that lends on the ATM business. So send me over that. All right. So let's see. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So any other questions? I want to look to see if we have any questions. We got that, and Instagram, and blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Comments. Let me see. Okay. All right. Well, if this was helpful to you guys, let me know. Just put a couple fire emojis in the chat, or whatever you want to put in the chat. That would be great. And then just to let you guys know, we sell ATMs, we process ATM transactions, we sell parts, we repair dispensers. So if you guys need anything, we're here to help. I'm going to put in my email down in there. So if you guys need anything, you can let us know. Here's my email. And all right. What kind of about the time? Let's see. But what's the thought on MasterCard surcharge? All right. So the MasterCard surcharge situation, it's not it's what they've been talking about for 20 years. So what he's talking about is MasterCard. What they did is they said that they're going to charge us 10 cents a transaction. For most people, if they're not getting interchange, it's not going to be a big thing. It could be for some of some of the ISOs might want to start charging their customers. So right now, like, we offer free processing to anybody who's with us. We don't charge that 10 cents. We're going to eat that charge. We're not going to pass that on. But some of the bigger ISOs, maybe Cardtronics, which is now who's Cardtronics? They are NCR. Maybe an NCR wants to start charging the guys who they're offering free processing, or Brinks, or PAI, which are Brinks. They might want to start. I saw this before when they started reducing those fees. They started passing on some of those charges. Here at PDQ, we're gonna do that. I don't know. There's some other guys that probably won't charge either, but some of them will. So we used to have a MasterCard rep back in the day, about 6 years ago, that he retired. He was a great guy, and he would work with you, and we could voice our opinion, and he'd go back to MasterCard. Had many talks with him. He's gone, and his name was Leland. He's gone, and then they replaced him with another person, and that person is gone. And to my knowledge, they have never replaced anybody at MasterCard. We do not have a representation to talk to them. So these things happen, and we don't have any representation. We worked real hard to find representation with Visa, and we do have a person with Visa. MasterCard, we do not. And so when these things happen, we don't have any voice. And none of the associations, ATMI or NAC, don't have any representation. So it's a challenge. We talked to our sponsor bank and they just sent them a bill and we paid a bill. So I'm not happy about it, but right now it's the way the business is. But if you're not getting any interchange, then this is not going to affect you at all. So that's all I got to say until I got some information. I would love to have, again, representation with MasterCard. That is something that I have personally been talking about for 3 years, that we need representation from MasterCard because we do not have any, and it puts us in a vulnerable position, and this is a position. So that's what I got to say about that. All right, let me look over here. Where can we find this? Great info. Thanks so much. I want to get in the business and appreciate. All right. Platinum visit. Thanks, Phil. And all right. Okay. So now what we do is, for those of you guys who are in our private group session, we're going to we do an accountability call every other Monday following this. I look forward to it. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Again, we here at PDQ Merchant Enterprises, you guys, I posted my here. I'll post it over here too, in Instagram. All right, so I posted that in Instagram. You guys can see my email. So you guys want to reach out to me, that would be great. Thank you guys very much for joining tonight, and we'll be back same as I was a Batman guy, so same bad time, same bad channel in 2 weeks at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. You guys got any questions, then you guys can reach out to me, post it in the chat, and send me your email if you want to be private, or if you just want to post a question and on the replay, and I'll try to do my best. Always check us out on the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys very much for joining.